What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? If you're in here right now, I appreciate y'all for watching. Like I said, go ahead and leave a comment. If there's any specific topics that you want me to talk about, go ahead and leave a comment on that. All right, so welcome, everybody. This is episode 10 of the Life of a Champ podcast. We're talking about curveballs and lemonade. That's the topic for today. So very, very good. So a few things I want to go ahead and do. One, I appreciate Heem. My boy Heem, I had some conversations with him about some of the topics I'm going to talk about today, and he kind of came up with the title idea, so I want to give him a shout out, as well as my Tata as well. His birthday was yesterday. He said he wanted a shout out on the podcast, so I'll go ahead and give him one as well. Shout out to you for sure, for sure. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. All right. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get it started right now. Like I said, I'm just waiting for one more person to get in here, and then we'll go ahead and get it started. Watching on the road. For sure. You have to. That's what I'm saying. You have to. Come on now. Where else would you rather be now? All right. KJ, I appreciate you, by the way, too, man. Appreciate it. All right. Jordy, for sure. There you go. That's the only way to do it. There you go. All right. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So, for the title for today, right? Curveballs. So, we're just talking about curveballs in life, right? Not everything is going to be exactly the way it's supposed to go to plan, for sure. And life's gonna throw you a bunch of different curveballs, but these are gonna be tests. These are realistically gonna be tests that you're going to go ahead and have to pass. And sometimes, like I said, for the most part, you're not ready for these. But you have to recognize that these are things that you exactly can't control, and you can't get too emotionally tied to something you can't control, because if you're so attached to something you can't control, you're going to unintentionally hurt yourself way more than you have to. You have to release the desire to control on things you can't control, and the things you can't control, go ahead and maximize the amount of opportunity within the things you can't control. So that's how I like to start it off. That's the kind of sentiment to the title. So there's that. So we had something like that for me. Like I said, I'll get into it very briefly, but then from there, we'll go ahead and talk about some of the other topics that I had for today. And then lemonade. So with whatever situation life gives you lemons, go ahead and make lemonade. That's for damn sure. So make the best out of the situations that are happening, and from there, like I said, make the best out of it for damn sure. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. All right, so one of the things before the situation even happened, something that I started to pick up on, I heard people talk about there's certain signs that kind of push you towards something that you want to do in your life, or things or decisions you should make in your life. And I started paying attention to these things. Like I said, I wasn't exactly 100% a believer, but I feel like there's certain things that happen for a reason. And some of these signs for me were, I watched a video a few days after I had this idea initially. I had seen a video of one of my favorite YouTubers, and his name's Hamza. He's in this self-development space that I'm going to be going into. Very, very highly respected for sure. Makes very quality content. If you're going to go ahead and watch any type of content, like I said, I would recommend his content for sure. But yeah, so he made a video regarding the idea that I had initially. And from there, it kind of confirmed that I should do it. If I'm in the circumstance in life to go ahead and do it, that I should just go ahead and do it. Because even if you're not, what he says in his one of his videos is, even if you're not ready, that's when you should start. There's never going to be a time when you're 100% ready to take that leap, but you have to take the leap of faith anyways. And like he said specifically, you want to do it a little bit before you think you're ready, because there's never going to be, like I said, never going to be a time where you're 100% ready to make that decision. So for me, that decision was to put my 2 weeks in at work. I've been working for, I think it's about 8 months now, full time, and I've saved up a pretty good amount of money. And I had a few things happen at work. I think I talked about a little bit in the other podcast. One of my coworkers, one of my best friends, we worked together for 8 months, and for like the last, like, I don't want to say 4 or 5 months, we had like the same exact schedule. So we worked pretty much the same shifts every single day. So for him, he got transferred, and then for me, I was already I'm never going to be satisfied working for somebody else. So you make work in a less enjoyable place. And I'm just kind of like, dude, I'm kind of over it. I already have my money saved up, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my 2 weeks in. Right, put my 2 weeks in. Let's just say something happened. 2 weeks didn't go by. It was just ended immediately. So I'm done. I no longer have a job, thankfully. Like I said, if you're close to me, you know my views on having a job in general. I'm very very opinionated on it, but like I said, a job's not for me. Listening to somebody who doesn't have something going for their life besides work is not the is it's just not the move for me. Um, I want to listen to only people that have true meaning in their life and who are chasing that. Because if I'm just listening to a boss who literally just goes home after work and doesn't do anything, dude, I'm not. There's no real reason I should listen to you besides the fact that I have a job, and that's not a good enough reason for me. Because I'm only gonna take your word and take your leadership if you have earned my listening ear, and if you've earned my following. And when in reality, those people are not worthy of it. They weren't worthy of it enough for me. So eventually, it was going to happen anyways. But for me, it happened a lot sooner than expected. But like I said, we go ahead and navigate correctly. You want to go ahead and with this time, I'm going to go ahead and develop my skills within this podcasting, and skills within video editing, video filming, marketing. Within all of this, that's something I'm going to be striving towards 100%. I have a lot more time to do it. This is has been a skill that I wanted to do or learn for the last, I want to say, about a year now. And I finally have the time and opportunity to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to go ahead and take full advantage of it, given my current circumstance, like I mentioned earlier, being ideal to make this decision right now. A true leader will motivate others and help with their growth. 100%. You're right. But if they don't honestly know what they're talking about outside of the work, like, no shade, no shade on my manager at all. But I had a conversation with him when he initially arrived there. Right, I had a conversation with him, and he couldn't. I had genuine, true questions for him just to get to know him better, and he couldn't mention anything besides work in those questions. When these are unrelated work questions. These are completely unrelated. But yeah, he all tied it back into work. I'm like, dude, right there. From I just knew from right there. I'm like, man, we have an issue. Because like I said, I'm trying to take the lead of somebody who's pursuing something that actually means some shit besides, a paycheck. Simple as that. But yeah, so I finally have time to develop these skills. I'm gonna go ahead and take full advantage of it. I'm going to go ahead and structure my weeks coming up very very soon to be very intentional with the things that I do, and from there, it's just the compounding effect after that. So, um, with anything that I wanted to do in life, I don't do it half-assed. I double down on what I want to do. And like I said, I've actually give a damn about it. You're gonna see the results of it, 100%. For sure. So yeah, that's pretty much a short description of my current circumstance. Um, like I said, you have the unexpected come up, but you got to plan for it. You got to expect the unexpected, and then if the unexpected happens, make a plan for them. There has to be a game plan that you're following. Because if you don't have a game plan, you're just kind of existing. Simple as that. And within my current circumstance, I'm not one of those people who just don't have a job and don't know what the fuck they're doing. And that's never been me. So like I said, I'm always going to stay productive. I'm always going to have structure, and I'm always going to be learning things that I need to learn, and also developing my skills in order to be the person that I want to be. So regardless of my circumstance, I'm always going to be focusing on those root things. So therefore, I really can't lose in that regard. So there's that. If you're in here right now watching, we have a few viewers in here. Make sure you go ahead and leave a comment. I'd appreciate it. Just if you have any questions about anything, go ahead and leave me a comment. Appreciate it. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna start it off. But yeah. All right. Give me 1 second. All right. But yeah, kind of going back to the thing that I mentioned earlier, that video. He basically laid out the entire his entire game plan, because obviously he's a YouTuber and I am a YouTuber. Um, so he basically laid out a plan that he went by, and that specific plan, you obviously start from a full time job, realize that it's damn near slavery, and then from there you transition to pursuing something that you're passionate about. And when you pursue something you're passionate about, you slowly need to start making more time for it. So therefore, you either quit your job, full time job entirely, or you can like he did that, or you can gradually make the transition from a full time job to a part time job and spend the bulk of your free time pursuing something of meaning, which would be this for me. But he said you also have to really analyze your current circumstance, and I realized that. And with my current circumstance, my expenses are going to be the absolute lowest that they're ever going to be right now. So with money saved up and low expenses, I need to be able to utilize what I have the most of, which is time. So I'm gonna utilize that time, like I said, to develop the skills that I need. And within this YouTube space, there's so many skills. I feel like people really downplay YouTuber success. There's so many skills because it's if you treat it like a business, it really is a business. There's okay, like I'll go ahead and name some of the skills. You got video editing. To be a decent video editor is very, very, very hard. Not something I'm like I said, I'm not gonna say that I can't do it. For sure I can do it. But it's something that you have to spend a lot of time on. The hours have to be put in order um to master that skill, right? So you got video editing, you have just picture editing as well, which kind of goes hand in hand with that, but picture editing as well because thumbnails are something that is super key when it comes to um I guess almost like marketing in a way. And then you also have the other aspect of marketing, which would be marketing on different platforms to try to get your name out, as well as like I said, diversifying platforms, whether it's adding it to Instagram, whether that's adding it to TikTok, because that's something that I'm eventually going to need to do. I personally don't actually have TikTok because it's damn near one of the most addicting apps that exist right now. Of course, I'm still on the other ones, but I don't want to add one more to the damn fuel to the fire. So I'm gonna eventually gonna have to do that. I'm strictly gonna use that platform just for marketing purposes. So I'm gonna be posting clips, short clips of the podcast that I've done. So I've done 10. So I have a pretty good foundation. I just got, like I said, I gotta have time to cut down what I want to go ahead and put in a clip, and then upload it. I don't know how to do that right now. If you have any idea how to do that, if you're watching this right now, you know you have some idea how to do it better than I do, let me know. We'll talk about it. Like I said, just so I can get this marketing aspect down. But also with that, you have just the overall research of your competitors. That's something that a lot of people don't do. But you want to make it kind of unique. Of course, you want to have your own niche, but you also want to make it as unique as you can. Um, because if you're like somebody else, why would they watch you? Just wouldn't make any sense. So also adding that aspect is definitely key for sure. And then there's also like I said, that's pretty much a solid foundation of what it takes to be a YouTuber. Plus, you gotta have all the equipment, which is depending on who you ask. Having more equipment is definitely better, but some people are just like, oh, if you have your phone, you're good. Which, like I said, I didn't want to start off with my phone. I'd rather have a commitment to investing the money into it, and then, of course, now with the time that I have, utilizing the money that I actually spent. So there's that. Yeah, if you're in it right now, go to let me know. Got the most viewers in here, so yeah, let me know what's good. You have any questions? Anything you want me to specifically talk about? Go ahead and go into it. All right. Yeah. So if you're tuning in right now, it's basically my circumstance. Um, I have a lot more time to do what the hell I want to do now. Um, thankfully, well, actually, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know what they want to do. In my case, I did. So with the free time that I have now, I'm going to go ahead and utilize it the way that I've should have been using my time in the first place. Obviously, with some circumstances, it's not going to be as convenient to go ahead and do what I want to do all the time. Because obviously, you got to work to have some money so you can spend some money. But like I have the time. So if I have the money saved up, I can have full reign on what I want to do. And I'm not going to be just like everybody else, like I said before. Like I said, there's a lot of people that just waste their damn time. If they have no job, they're going to be a complete loser. That's not me. It's never been me. Yeah, so that's like I said, that's my short description of my current circumstance. You got to be very committed. You got to be very consistent within this. So that is something that I am striving to be very, very consistent. And then I'm actually going to be probably adding another podcast day onto the week. I don't know exactly what day it's going to be, but I'm going to have it on Friday and I might have it on Monday. I'm not too sure. But definitely adding more days. I feel like Friday night is kind of hard for some people to get into it, even if they want to. Like I said, everybody has their own lives and shit, so I could understand if you're not going to be able to make it into the podcast, whether that's to watch or whether that's to be on the podcast. You know, some people have some stuff going on. I want to see if I'm probably going to mess around with the specific days that I want to do it, just so I can see how many people I can actually get in here, and hopefully, like I said, Sunday's probably not going to be the best day to do it, just because on Sundays, I want to say that like through my observation is like people don't post on Sundays at all. Like most YouTubers don't post on Sundays, even though people actually have the most free time because obviously it's a weekend. You would think that they'd be on platforms. Usually there's a lot of people that are just living life at that point that are away from screens. I was sleeping, but I made it. Anthony, about damn time, man. Appreciate you for stopping by though. He said he was sleeping, man. Why you sleeping on me, Anthony? Anthony, every damn time almost, man. You always sleeping, man. Yeah, so I don't know if you heard earlier, but like I said, I just have a lot more time to go ahead and pursue what I want to pursue. Very thankful for that. Very thankful for that. Got to make the best out of every situation, no matter what life throws at you. Got to look at the optimism within the situation for sure. All right. Yeah, so Anthony, you're gonna have to go ahead and carry the chat this time, my boy. You have any questions or you have anything in specifically you want me to cover? Let me know. All right. And then adding to the point that I had mentioned earlier, just looking out for signs. Um, I would say it's being very, very input conscious. Oh, she said, best for getting through a bump in the road or something that comes in the way of your plan. That's a good question. Whether it's something you're waiting for. Okay, so man, I feel like with that circumstance specifically, it all comes back down to the foundation that you have. It comes back to a few different things, in my opinion. It all goes back to the support system that you have, because for the most part, you're not gonna get through all your problems in life by yourself. You're gonna need other people. You're going to need the support system of your family, friends. If you have a lot of family, if you have a lot of friends, you're going to get through those bumps a lot smoother, I guess. Um, and you also have to so with the support system, you also have to be very conscious of whether you can control the situation or not. It's mentioned something I mentioned a little bit earlier, but you need to be very conscious that some things you can't control, and that's okay, because if you are so set on, oh, I wish I could control this, and and you can't, you're gonna destroy yourself. It's not a healthy mind state to be in. Um, that's a philosophy. There's some philosophy within Stoicism. Like I said, can control what you can control, and release the tension for the things you cannot control. But yeah, that's something that I would say. Support system, being conscious of it if you can control it or not, as well as it all goes back to some of the mindsets that you are constantly reinforcing. I mentioned on many podcasts, it's the input. The input is so key. If you have inputs that's telling you, hey, keep going. Okay, there's going to be bumps in the road. Keep going. If you have that constantly, when something comes up, you have that to rely on. You have that to consume. So you're not consuming things that are defeating you. You're constantly, that's how it is for me. I'm constantly consuming things that are inspiring me. So regardless of what happens, I'm always inspired. And I can never like run out of fuel for that. Whether it's music that I'm listening to, whether it's podcasts that I'm watching, whether it's videos that I'm watching, whether it's the certain type of people that I'm listening to, whether that's whatever I'm scrolling on Instagram specifically, some pages that I have literally just for input, for positive input. It all goes back to that as well. You want as many things that are going to bring you up, because there's going to be things that are going to be trying to bring you down. and you definitely don't want to have anything bring you down. That's for damn sure. I was at work, so if I sleep and I got to catch up with the conversation before I start commenting. For sure. What would you tell someone who is having a hard time getting their life back on track after life threw them a curveball? That's a good question. I kind of answer that a little bit, but what does your foundation look like? Do you have the habits that you want to have? So let's just say you lost like 30 pounds, right? And you gain like 50 pounds. You lost 30 pounds, you're doing great. Something happened, I don't know, damn COVID or whatever you want to say, right? And you gained like 50 pounds. So obviously you're like way in a situation where you're not trying to be in. What are you got to pay attention to your habits. Habits first and foremost are going to be so key. So obviously eliminating your bad ones and getting some new ones that are going to be best benefiting you. And at this point, if you don't know what habits to pick up, start looking up some good habits. Some ones that I would recommend is reading, getting enough sleep. Even that's like I said, that habit alone can do so much for you. Work out. Like I said, consume more positive input because, like I said, there's so much negativity. Whether it's the media is literally king of negative input. That's why I don't. I try not to. I try to stay away from those negative narratives. Those are unhealthy for your mind. But yeah, I would say look at your foundation of habits. Um, be very focused on gratitude. Be very grateful for the things that you have, whether it's life, whether it's a house, whether it's whatever. Be very, very thankful for those things because the only way you're going to get more in life is to be thankful for what you have right now. You're never going if you're always focused on what you don't have, then you're going to be unsatisfied with the way you're living life because you don't have. But if your mind frame is in I'm so glad that I have these things, it that's going to come with an abundance. You're going to have more things in life that you're happy to have. So that's the way I would say for sure. So gratitude within that, foundation of habits, and like I said, going back to inputs for sure. I understand curveballs, but what made you think about lemonade? So Anthony, if you were here earlier, you would have heard me. So obviously, if life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And so from there, next, like I said, that's for that, just making the best out of every situation that happens in life. So there's negatives and there's positives. Of course, you want to don't be oblivious to the negatives because there's going to be negatives, but stay focused on the positives for sure. Acknowledge the negatives, but be really only focused on the positives because positives are, I wouldn't say they're not something you can exactly control, but they're relevant. They're relevant. They're just as relevant as the negatives. That's for damn sure. But yeah, that's kind of where that came from. The boy Heem, been on a podcast before. He's the one who came up with that. So like I said, I gave him a shout out in the beginning of the podcast. Like I said, my man, he's helping me out to help give me some more ideas. I kind of told him my current circumstance in life. He's actually the first person that I told because that show's crazy. Initially, the show was so crazy, but yeah, he definitely helped me out with the name of it. Very, very good. All right. I'm trying to think if I can answer that question anymore. Okay. Yeah. So, also with getting good habits, getting rid of your bad habits. What is something that everybody has this? What are certain habits that you have that is holding you back? Everybody has these things, and a lot of people are resistant to just, oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's not doing me any harm. You know damn well in your subconscious mind. You know damn well in that little voice that that talks to you. That you shouldn't be doing that damn thing. You know that for damn sure. You know it's you at least that's how it feels for me. If I do something I know I shouldn't do, I feel guilt. And I'm sure people feel that same exact way. I'm sure you do things where you feel guilty afterwards. Whether let's say you're trying to diet better and you eat a food that is for damn sure you're not supposed to be eating that damn food, you're gonna feel guilty. So within trying to get your life back on track, stop doing the shit that you shouldn't be doing. That's for damn sure. A lot of people do it. I don't know why it's such a self-sabotaging behavior, but people still do it. And I want to say damn near everybody does it. I don't know anybody that has a perfect life. So I assume, with that being said, there's going to be a lot of people right now watching this that you shouldn't be doing these things because it's not giving you the results that you want, but you're still doing them. So get rid of those as well, because those are not gonna lift you up. That's for damn sure. So whether this is drinking excessively, I mentioned this in my video, um, that I want to be posting. I'm probably gonna be posting it. I'm gonna get it done by this week. Next Friday. I'm gonna have it up. I'm gonna have my first YouTube video up on my other channel. But in that one, like I said, whether it's vices, vices holds people back ridiculous amounts. Even if you don't think it is, even if you're only thinking about the positives, you have to take into account the negatives, whether it's smoking excessively, whether it's drinking excessively. Those two right there, those things are holding a lot of people back, and people are not willing to admit it. But don't run away. Those are just cop outs. Those are things you're running away from your life. Don't do that if you know you shouldn't be doing that. Simple as that. You got 6 viewers in here. Most of you out all day. So if you're in here right now, go ahead and leave a comment. We got 7. Let's go. Go ahead and leave a comment if you're in here right now. Appreciate you all. All right, let's get it rocking. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. So yeah, I kind of lost track of this, but going back to looking for signs, right? So this just goes into the input. I have certain subtleties, whether it's some lyrics that are in music that kind of trigger like, oh, I should be doing that. I feel like I should be doing that. Kind of gives me a little bit of like, kind of gives me a hunch, like, oh yeah, that sounds very good. I should be doing something like that. Let me see what he has to say. People do things that they aren't supposed to because it's comforting, and comfort is the enemy of growth, but people accept it because it's familiar. You're a 1000% right, Anthony. Even if it's self-sabotaging, it's comforting. So like we can even go. I'm not gonna go too deep into this, but let's just say going back to an ex, right? It's something that's so comfortable, but yet it's not going to. It's really not gonna help you out. People still do it all the damn time. Um, but hey, man, like you said, you have to. It takes a very very strong sense of self discipline to say, hey, we're cutting that shit out completely. It takes a whole lot to do that, and everyone that does that, I admire you, because that that is such an admirable quality to stick within your foundations, as well as uh you know really being self disciplined enough to cut out what you know it's not serving you. That is, it's something that's so respectable, but like I said, people just still don't do it. People don't have people in this age don't really have self discipline like that at all, and social media is really exposing it, really exposing it as of recently. I want to say recently, like the last, like, let's just say like 5 to 10 years. The level of self discipline that people had it's drastically going down. Um, the amount of bad habits that people are picking up is drastically going up, and there's only a few people that actually have super healthy, a lot of healthy habits. There's only a small amount. I'm sure you can maybe name like 5 people in your life that have more than like 4 or 5 habits. Love the gratitude answer, because focusing on the positive is what everyone needs to hang on to. 100%. You're right. Yeah, the gratitude thing is something that I feel like everybody should be constantly trying to improve on. For me, I had wrote down a few things that I'm grateful for a few days in a row, when I was back in my when I used to journal. I journaled like 160 days last year, which is pretty good. Um, but I also added a habit which I haven't done. I really need to get back into it. But I had 3 times during my day, I had 3 moments of gratitude. So I think it was 11:30, 4:30, and yeah, it was 11:30, 4:30, and I think it's 9:30, where my alarm would go off, and then from there, I know it'd be time to go ahead and just take a moment, think about the things that I'm grateful for, and I would name like 2 or 3 different ones throughout the day. Um, and that definitely does something for you, for sure. It definitely grounds you. It definitely puts you right in the moment, which is something that a lot of people lack. A lot of people lack being in the moment. Um, but yeah, finding habits that can actually put you in the moment is so key as well. So key. Appreciate y'all for stopping by in the comments. Anthony, you getting some help. You getting some help. You getting some help this afternoon, which is nice, man. Which is nice. Yeah, Anthony usually carry. If Anthony's in here, you damn near carrying the chat almost every time. So appreciate y'all for stopping by. All right, so making the best out of situations, man. Come on now. Like I said, this is something that everybody got to be focused on. People love to feel bad for themselves though. That's something that I've observed from people's behaviors. They love to be down bad. They love to be down bad. I don't understand it. I really don't. They just love it. They just love it. I don't know what to say besides that. They just love it, man. But I can only feel so sorry for myself for such a small amount of time where I'm just like, okay, well, what's next? A lot of people like to sulk in that. I'm definitely not the type for sure. I'm definitely not the type. All right. So if you're in here right now, like I said, go ahead and leave a comment. I'd appreciate it very, very much. All right. Damn. All right. Anthony, it's hard. It's a hard mindset to obtain the gratitude and appreciate what you have and the hunger you want more of out of life. 100%. But if you're lucky enough to have a foundation of people that care about you, whether it's friends, whether it's family, right? If you have a house, if you have water, if you have clean air, if you have it, like I said, it's just the basic foundations of life. You are whether you would like to admit it or not. Everybody watching this right now is privileged. You have a device where you can watch a podcast. A lot of people don't have that. It's crazy to say that because we're so conditioned because that's all we know. There's a lot of people that still don't have access to the internet. That right there is something to be damn grateful for. Straight out the gate. If you have headphones, be thankful for headphones because there's people that don't have headphones. It's little things like that. You have to kind of take a step back, and some of these things that you are just unconscious of having, you're lucky to have these things. Just life in itself. You got to be thankful for the life that you have. One of the mindsets that I learned about within a podcast. It was the Jay Shetty and Big Sean podcast. Actually, shout out to Big Sean. Big Sean's birthday's today. That's why I'm walking my down life. But one of the mindsets that they talked about was the I get to versus I have to mindset. So people say, "Oh man, I have to work today. Oh, whatever." Right? You get to work today. You're lucky enough to be alive right now in order to actually get to be able to do work instead of I have to work, because having to work is that have to mindset is you could just not be living right now, but you are. So be thankful. Be thankful for that in itself. Don't be negative to the fact that you actually have to do something. Be thankful that you actually get the opportunity to do it. That's the mindset that they talked about, which is something that it's something that you can just become conscious of, and then it kind of give you a sense of relief in some regard, and then when you actually apply it, it's just switching that little self vocabulary that I mentioned in the last podcast that can do a whole lot for you. That people, like I said, I still think self talk is so downplayed. I can go on and on about it when I went on about it last podcast, but the self talk, man, I could preach on that all day. Every podcast I could preach on that because it's the foundation that keeps you grounded to avoid many different problems, many different mindsets, many different obstacles. If you have that foundation set, like I said, with the support system, you're damn near unbeatable. Long term, short term, everybody's down bad for a little bit, right? But some people stay down bad, other people figure it out. It's a mindset switch. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's a mindset switch. You're right. All right. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. The comments have came through. I appreciate you guys so much. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, man, let me know. I one thing I like about this podcast so far, at least the self development aspect, is the quality of engagement that I get. Because, like I said, I'm speaking on things that actually matter, realistically speaking, right? So the comments, if you look at the comments right now, that's like 3 or 4 lines of just like solid quality um comments. These are not just, oh yeah, good job. That's it. It's in depth. There's more conversation to be had. And like I said, I like to discuss people's certain viewpoints. And that's honestly why I love having people on the podcast, because I can do it in real time. So I can say something, they can bounce back off an idea that I had, or vice versa. So that right there, it's so cool to have that engagement. In depth talks are something that is honestly not had enough around in these days, man. Like, people are so, like, their attention spans are like literally damn goldfish. It's ridiculous. I usually have more to say, but my mind is still waking up right now. Good morning, Anthony. Um, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's some good stuff though, for sure. I'm trying to think, because that question that Adriana had said, getting your life back on track after it threw him a curveball. I'm trying to think of some more things, in my opinion, that would work best to try to get you back on your feet. Um, like I said, self-sabotaging behaviors. Get rid of them shits, because, man, man, that's crazy. People try to. I've heard this for sure many, many times. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. You got people that exist right now that are unhappy with the current circumstance, but they haven't changed anything. How are you expecting something to change if you're not changing yourself? You cannot expect something different if you haven't done anything to adapt to the situation that you want to be in. So that right there, that's always an interesting mindset that I've thought about, and it's a simple observation that I've had about a lot of people that are around me. Like I said, if you see yourself in a recurring problem, you have to be willing to change something. There has to be something that you're doing wrong, and that takes a lot of accountability that people are not ready for. Um, but if you're ready for that, go ahead and take the step. All right, come on now. Where's the comments? Where's the comments at now? Come on now, where y'all at? What would you say to those who have a victim mentality yet want to change their current circumstance? That is another thing that is so prevalent within today's society, is the victim mindset, the victim mentality, whatever you want to call it, right? For these people, it's kind of hard to get to them. Honestly, it's really, really hard to get to them. I would say it all comes back to accountability. Um, a lot of people are not willing to take accountability nowadays, and for that, it just takes a level of self consciousness. Like, if you're not a self conscious person and you can't really step out of your own viewpoints, it's very, very hard to get out of that victim mentality just based off of that. Um, that's definitely a good question. I'm trying to think of some more things. Because that is something that is it's so recurring. It's so recurring. It's one of the most annoying things within society nowadays. Um, Besides accountability, yeah, like I said, you just got to be conscious that you're in it, and you have to be able to really listen to people that are around you. Because if you have the people, if you have that victim mentality, and yet you have people that are telling you have the victim mentality, you have to be able to really look at yourself deeply, and be like, maybe what they're saying is right. Which, that's like all goes back to accountability, taking that damn accountabilities. That's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. But yeah, that's what I would root it in. How do you truly learn to let go? Man, you're getting deep, man. You're getting deep. How do you truly learn to let go? Eliana, I appreciate y'all for stopping by as well. I like your Lil Uzi, what is it, little picture. It's unfortunate to see how many people in our society have that mindset. 100%. 100%. I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with privilege, honestly. Having a high level of privilege, there's just no accountability. There's no accountability that needs to be taken. It's hard. How do you truly learn to let go? Let me try to get into this real quick. That's a deep ass topic, but um, it really depends on the circumstance. But I feel like for that specifically, you have to kind of weigh the pros and cons of the situation. Um, and then you have to take the step that is going to have the most growth. So whether that's letting go, if there's more potential to stay and not let go, go for that. But if there's more pain in that, you need to consider letting go, of course. But like I said, really analyzing the pros and cons of the situation is really going to help you have a better understanding. Because like I said, there's going to be pros and cons to pretty much every situation. But if your cons, if they outweigh the pros, make the decision, man. Make the decision. And don't make the decision based off emotion. Base it off of logic, which is so hard to do. But if you can do that, and stick to it, very respectable. Very, very, very respectable for sure. But that's the way I would say that for that. It's pretty good. Like I said, it goes back to the comments, man. When the comments are very quality, man, it's nice, man. It's nice. All right, Anthony, what do you have to say? People in bad situations that have the ability to change but choose not to. It's the world's fault, and that mentality is more destructive than whatever the problem actually is. That's what I'm saying, Anthony. Exactly. Like I said, it goes back to some of the things that I had mentioned, but 100%. It's I just can't even believe that. I can't even believe people even have that mindset. Like, oh, blame the world. Like, oh, maybe the world is saying something to you. If you're blaming the world, you have to take a step back and say, there's just no way that everybody's crazy. There's no way. There's got to be some truth in what they're saying. You cannot be that self-centered to just be like, man, I'm right, everybody else wrong. There's no way. There's no way. But man, like I said, it kind of goes with privilege, man. Kind of goes with privilege. Yeah, it honestly, that mindset alone is more destructive than any issue that you can be in. Yeah, 100%. Definitely agree with you, Anthony. Anthony has that high level conversation. That's why that boy's been in my life for shit, over 10 years now. So, man, some good stuff for sure. How would you guys say what is the cure? So obviously you guys are asking me questions. So what do you think? I'm gonna ask you guys a question. What do you think is a cure to the victim mentality? Um, maybe trying to specifically talk about something that I didn't mention. Um, because it's definitely something you have to think about for sure. Because the victim mentality is obviously self-destructing, and there's certain ways people go about it differently. So yeah, go ahead and let me know what you would personally do for that. All right. Yeah, we got 7 people in here. If you're in here right now, I appreciate you for stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment. Even if you don't have anything to add onto the conversation, just go ahead and say what's good. I appreciate your support. I think we had about like 5 or 6 people comment, so pretty satisfied with that. And one more thing that I didn't mention earlier with the podcast is I mentioned on the last podcast that within the next 3 podcasts that I would have the sound effects added. I just did some more research on that today, so I just have to download the specific audio clips that I want, and then from there I'm going to be able to add it to my soundboard. So I spent a pretty good chunk of change on this damn soundboard that I have, but now I'm actually going to be able to fully utilize it in a way that I wanted to. I was actually going to buy a separate soundboard with 32 programmable sounds, but from now I'm going to be able to go ahead and do that on this. So adding sound effects will definitely add more entertainment value for you guys. Especially when I bring somebody on like Anthony. Oh yeah, I'm about to have a whole stack of funny edits for sure. I would definitely say being open to change and being okay with acknowledging when you're wrong so you can grow from your mistakes rather than dwell on them. 100%. 100%. I believe that it all goes back to you just have that growth mindset. You cannot have a fixed mindset. And if people were to know me, right? There's a lot of people that think they know me, right? A lot of people. Well, first I'm very an opinionated person. So if you know me up close, I'm very opinionated. But when I'm by myself, I'm my biggest critic. So like I said, I'm always gonna focus on what I could do better, and like I said, understanding that I'm damn near wrong most of the time. But what can I do to not be as wrong? But yeah, there's like I said, nobody's perfect in this world, but you definitely have to be on the constant evolution of acknowledging your insufficiencies and um, take action. I made an entire podcast. If you want me to go more into that, I have another podcast which I did by myself. I want to say it was the second or third one that I did by myself. So if you want to go more into that topic, I definitely recommend the other podcast that I did for sure. But yeah, if you have any other, one thing I want to mention as well with the sound effects, if you have any specific sound effects that you want me to add onto the soundboard, let me know. Because I feel like you guys can come up with some funny, really funny, creative things. And I definitely want to add some more engagement within that regard. But just text me them. Just text me, hey, add this or consider having this sound effect. I already kind of have a few. Me and Anthony wrote down a list. I'm gonna see if he still has a list. But I definitely want to add some funny ones that are just gonna be like, yeah, it'll just be really funny. So that's definitely one of the things when I first thought about podcasting. That's one of the things that I really wanted to do is have sound effects because, like I said, the comedic value is so key, so key. I love to make people look goofy in real time. A cure to victim mentality is a change of scenario environment. Putting yourself in a new position to grow or change for the better can definitely help quell the victim mindset. Okay, for sure. And like I said, you have to be that takes a certain level of openness to even get to that point, which a lot of people are not ready for. Um, yeah, I would say that's a pretty good answer. So whether that's like getting out of some schools, switching jobs, or switching cities you live in, that's something that I'm also considering as well. I love my family, but that's something that I'm considering just when I'm in the position that I want to be in, um, moving away for a certain period of time because you kind of get to know yourself in a different way. Um, the things that you'll like I said, your insufficiencies will be highlighted for damn sure. So that's something that I'm considering doing eventually. I don't know when, but it'd be something else pretty cool. I might still have the list. I gotta check my notes. Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, you still have the list of the ones we wanted to make. I just have to figure out exactly how I want to, or where exactly I need to edit or download them from. But yeah, I should have it on. Should be about this next. I'm gonna figure out how to do it this week. So next podcast, I'm going to for sure have them. So I should have. Let me see. How many spots do I have? Just let you guys know. Um I have a lot. I have almost 100 that I could do for sound effects. So obviously I'm not gonna use a lot of them, but there's some that are gonna be very much used. But yeah, 8 people in here right now. For sure, I appreciate you guys for watching. If you're in it right now, like I said, leave a comment. We have some good engagement today. We have some good engagement for sure. And I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go. So if you've been here, I'm gonna go over some of the things that I mentioned. So first one is we'll go back to the title. So the lemonade aspect of the title is like I said, life's gonna give you a certain situation. Make the best of the situation. So if you have lemons, make lemonade, right? And the curveballs, life's also going to throw you a bunch of curveballs, right? There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be very unpredictable, and there's going to be a lot of situations in which you can't control. Getting rid of that need or that sense of wanting to control It's something you're gonna need to do. And also with the curveballs, you got to have a plan of action, because if you have no plan, then you can easily pick up that victim mentality that we were talking about earlier. Um, be very conscious of your situation and make the changes that need to be made. Another thing that I have is looking out for signs. So specifically for me, I had a few things that were really that's such a you have to watch the beginning of the podcast for that, Elian. But in shorts, I'm going to be pursuing podcasting and YouTube full time. So there's that. Yeah, I'm not, like I said. That's something that you gotta go back, man. You gotta go back. You were late for that one. But yeah, um, just pursuing my passions and pursuing the things that is going to have the most impact. Because like I said, anyone can have a job, but if you're not satisfied within that job, you're going to need to do the things that you should be doing. And this is something that I've already knew I should have been doing, but now I just needed to have the opportunity and time to do it. And I had the opportunity because I made the opportunity, and then I had the time because my circumstance in life, which, like I said, not everybody's fortunate to have that same circumstance and the same opportunity, even the same. Well, what is it? I don't know what to mention. Like, same situation and where you can find what you're passionate about. There's not a lot of people that can do that. So, like I said, I'm really appreciative of the circumstance that I'm in. Um, if I got lemons, I'm gonna make, man, you crazy as hell, man. Never let them know the next mood. Keep them on their toes, for sure, for sure. Okay, interesting. Keep them on their toes. Okay. Well, shit, you better have some plans though. You better have them written down, man. Um, and then so when I said looking for signs earlier, so for me, it was just analyzing some of the inputs that I had. Some of the lyrics hit extra difference within some of the music that I listened to. Obviously, I listened to positive inputs like Big Sean. Like I said, shout out to Big Sean. Like I said earlier, his birthday's today. Um, but also, I was watching this one video that really sparked my attention because it was pretty much laying down my current circumstance, of literally step by step how to get out of your job and pursue something like this, like a YouTube channel. So that right there, I thought was a sign in itself, because it was literally the morning after I watched. Well, I watched it I clicked on it within the first 5 minutes was uploading. So I watched it. I'm like, wow. He pretty much gave me the entire game plan to go based off of the idea that I had. What are some of your favorite artists? J. Cole, Drake, Big Sean. That's my top three. Number one is Big Sean. Two is Drake. Three is J. Cole. I like old Kanye, which I'm trying to get 808 and Heartbreaks vinyl record. I have Graduation. I would say, it's a good question. I like Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's pretty good, of course. Right now, I like Don Toliver as well. Don Toliver's pretty good. Let me go ahead and check. All right, my bad about that. I don't know why the audio was off. Appreciate it. Appreciate it for letting me know. But like I was saying, so I'll end it off in about 5 minutes. We got 9 viewers in here. If you do want to go ahead and leave a comment, regardless if you've heard everything that I've been saying, um, just make sure you leave a comment for sure. I don't know why that I never clicked it, so I don't know why the audio went out, but whatever. Appreciate you guys for letting me know though. Um, yeah, leave a comment for sure. Yeah, I'm not even clicking. I'm not even clicking. My hands are literally right here the whole time. So, all right. So yeah, we got 8 viewers in here. Definitely pretty good. We stayed consistent of about like above 6. So that's something that is definitely nice. If you guys have another suggestion of what specific day during the week that I should add another podcast day that you think would work best for your schedule, let me know. I know Sunday's not a day that works out for a lot of people. But I definitely want to do Friday. I want to keep Friday a thing. Um, Specifically, I want that day to be with people, and ideally, I would like to have one day by myself during the week. I want to do that. It'll probably be a night of like maybe like Monday or Wednesday or something like that. But I don't want to be I don't want them to be too close together. But if something would work best for you, let me know. Wednesday, okay, I can consider Wednesday for sure. A goal without an expiration date is just a dream. Interesting. You definitely have to be very clear with the goal. You're right in that regard. It has to be a smart goal. That's for sure. I got all Wednesdays off. Okay, for sure. But you made it on a Friday, so you should be good. If you guys have any other days specifically that would work best for your schedule, let me know. I just don't want, like I said, I just don't want them really close together because, like I said, if I'm having two in the span of like 3 days, it's like I feel like that's too much. But if I'm having like two in the span of like 5 days, 5 or 6 days, I feel like that's a little bit better. Yeah. That's definitely a good quote though. Yeah, you have to be very intentional and very clear about your goals. Something that I learned about in what book was it? What specific book was it? I think it was in Atomic Habits, the book right here, right there. That book right there, man. It talks all about goals, all about habits, things like that. It also talks about system setting, which is something that people don't know much about. So people harp on making the goals, right? Just like I said, this is an example I love to use when I talk about this. But let's say you want to lose like 40 pounds, right? So you can either have the goal of losing 40 pounds or have the system in place of working out 6 days a week to go ahead and get it. So not you're not really focused on the big goal of the large mountain of 40 pounds. You're focused on, oh yeah, this week let's just go 6 times this week. Let's find some time during my day and let's go ahead and knock it out. And that should be ultimately your goal, is just getting your ass in the gym every day. The system in place for sure. Bro, if I can catch it on a Wednesday, best believe I'm gonna light up the chat. For sure. Hey, I expect you to light up the chat regardless of what day it is, damn it. If you in here, if you up, I expect you to be lighting up damn chat, man. Come on now. Yeah, but I appreciate y'all for stopping by. I'm about to end it off here soon. Um yeah, if you're in here right now and didn't comment anything, come on now. What are you doing? But yeah, I'm gonna go over a little bit more things. All right, so like I said, I don't know if you're in here. Hopefully you've heard me talk about my circumstance, but yeah, basically I'm gonna be pursuing this full time, adding another podcast day, and then I'll be adding more videos to my. That's what I'm saying. Cutting out soda is automatic 5 to 10 pounds of weight loss. I'm telling you, like so it's little things like that. Getting rid of the bad habits that you know you shouldn't be doing. Booker Eagles MVP. We can't get into that right now. I'll get into it in my next podcast. There's no way I can get into that. All I'm gonna say is I was one of the first people to ever say that. I never heard anyone say that before me. I'm just gonna say that right now. But you gotta pay attention to the good in the end. Um, don't be naive to the bad, but be very conscious of the good, for sure. And then basically making the best out of every situation that you're in. If you're in a situation that is less than desirable, make a plan for a way out. Know that there's going to be a better day, and know that there's more for you to come than just the current circumstance. In your opinion, what are the best words of affirmation to tell yourself daily? Um, the ones that I would say are like the I cans, the I wills, not, like I said, removing the I don't, I can't, I won't, I could never, all those. Getting rid of those certain things. Speaking in definite terms kind of goes hand in hand with manifesting, in my opinion. But speaking in definite terms, I have a manifesting journal that where I have all these I cans, I will. There's nothing holding me back. Certain things like that. Definitely, those are definitely something you need to constantly remind yourself of. And even if you don't think, here's my thing, right? Even if you don't think you, even if you do 100% don't believe it. Because eventually, one day, it's gonna click on for you. I promise you. I promise you it is. If you, even if you're not 100% a believer, if you're acting, if you're acting in accordance, it is eventually going to work out for you. I've been telling you, bro. I got to get back on the podcast soon. I got some words of wisdom for the people. All right, for sure. I'll get you on. Hopefully next week. I got you next week. You're gonna have to tell me what day next week works best for you. Maybe we'll be able to do Wednesday next Wednesday. I wouldn't mind it. But yeah, we definitely got to get back on the podcast. Who in specific? Before I go, right? Who in specific do you guys want to be on the podcast that I've already had on? So, but you, I got some things I wanted to. Okay, for sure, Leon. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we can get you on. If you want to get on the podcast as well, make sure you go ahead and text me over some specific points that you want to go over within the self-development, within music, within sports. Those are the main topics. Also, one topic I'm trying to add on. I want to do it within the first 15 episodes. I'm gonna do an episode on conspiracy theories. So if you can come up with conversations within those 4 topics, we can go ahead and go from there. But yeah, definitely. If you watch any of the other podcasts and you want some of the guests that I had on, go ahead and send me a text saying, "Hey, I like this podcast." Make sure I have whoever on. Make sure I have them back, because I know there's certain people you want back, some people you don't want back. Maybe you don't want me back. I don't know. Just let me know. Just let me know for sure. I want to get on. Yeah. So Anthony will get on for damn sure very very soon. Yeah, we'll get him on. We'll get him on very soon. Hey, people in here, man. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Even if y'all stop by a little bit late. Hey, better late than never, man. Better late than never. That's for damn sure. Yeah, so I'll go end it off in 2 minutes. I'll end it off in 2 minutes. Good stuff today, fellas. Good stuff today. Appreciate the engagements. The engagement makes podcasts so much better. And the more people I have in here, the more engagement I'm going to have. The conversations are just going to be better, that much better. So appreciate it. All right. I'm trying to think of a way to end this podcast off. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a mindset that I've had recently that you can go ahead and take with you on your day. Give me 1 second. What was it? I had just had it on my mind today. Give me a second. I'm pretty sure I wrote it down. I got you right here. All right. I got self-development sports. Okay, I don't think. I want to get him back on the podcast. Yeah, we got to get him back on the podcast. I was actually supposed to do one with him tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do it with him tomorrow because I want to do it in the morning. Like a morning podcast. I feel like that'd be pretty cool on Saturdays. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or not. He got some interesting views. 100% he does. That's some high level conversation we have. I got to talk about one thing we're going to have next time he's on the podcast. We're going to talk about relationships. Cuz we can go in on relationships for sure. We've probably spent hours already outside of the podcast. You'd like to see artists and business owners on the podcast. Okay. That's something that I could definitely consider for sure. All right. So with that being said, the mindset I'm going to leave you off of is live within no limitations. Never put any self-limitations on yourself. Never put any self-limitations on yourself. That's something that I've adopted and cultivated over the last, I want to say, about 3 or 4 years. Never put any limitations because you don't know your potential. even you don't know your potential. Your potential exists, but if you put a cap on your potential, then exactly, you put a cap on your potential. Anthony, you can't guard me. Now we're not going to get into that. All right, fellas. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. And on to the next podcast. Hopefully, I'll have a guest on. I don't know exactly when it'll be, but it'll be very, very soon. It'll hopefully be within the next, I want to say, about 4 days. So stay tuned for that. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll be posting on there. So I appreciate y'all for stopping by. And I hope you have a good rest of your week. Or weekend, rather.